I have the honor to introduce the next speaker while the podium is taken away here. So we are going to have Mr. David Arakhamia, and he's a Ukrainian politician and entrepreneur leading the parliamentary fraction called Servant of the People. And he's also the head of the Supervisory Board of UkraineInvest, focusing on attracting foreign investment. And I have to say, UkraineInvestment has been a very important entity and element in order to be able to lower the risks for foreign companies in order to go and invest in Ukraine. So we are pleased to have Mr. Arakhamia on the stage.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, can you show your hand who is from Estonia? So, like, I know most of the people are from Estonia. Who is from Ukraine? Okay. Who is from other countries then? All right. So we have like a big audience. I'd like to talk. It's unusual talk for me for the last 2 years because obviously most things I'm doing right now is about the war, about the weapons, about the assistance and so. But right now, like, we're gonna little bit switch because we're gonna talk about the investments. First, about my background. I used to be, before coming to the politics, I used to be like quite a large IT businessman, having a multinational holding company that I sold to private equity. And I was then doing some business in the defense industry, and then like I was working in the investment. So I'm an investor myself, so it's very easy for me to talk to other investors because we're speaking the same language. Obviously, Ukraine suffered a lot, you know about it. And I would like to use the moment to thank all Estonian people for the support. It's a tremendous support. It's very important for us. A lot of people are coming and say that we are a small country, like we cannot do a lot, but this is not the case. The case is, how you do it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Because Estonia and other Baltic states were always on international arena, people who supporting and backing us on all of our initiatives. This is very important for us, so I would like to use the moment and thank all of you for what you are doing, and especially the political parties in Estonia and on all levels in European Parliament and other places. So we have a war. We suffered a lot. The World Bank estimates that we have $500 billion in losses already. That means, okay, it's a bad thing on one side. It's a good thing for the investors on another side, because once the war is over, it's going to be all rebuilt, and it presents numerous different opportunities that like you can make great returns on your investments. I'm a majority leader in the parliament, so basically we are writing the rules, how this is going to be managed. And at the same time, I'm the head of the supervisory board of the UkraineInvest. UkraineInvest is a government-owned agency that has a goal to facilitate the investments on the government side. So it's directly reporting to the Prime Minister of the country as an execution branch of the power. So basically, we have like a really great connection between the legislative part and the executive part. How you can invest and where to invest. So I'll try to give you advice. This is not like a speech, traditional speech on the conference. I'm trying to give you advice that I'm giving to my other friends who are asking. Like I have a lot of friends. I used to live in the US. I have a lot of people from the US calling and say, David, what's going on? Like what could be the opportunities? So I'll try to tell you pretty much the same I'm telling to my friends, so you have a better feeling of what's going on and where I see the opportunities. First, we start with the big ones. Obviously, like if somebody is a natural resources business, it's a really big opportunity. Why? Because Ukraine is big by itself. It's the largest country in Europe, and we have a lot of gas resources. This year, Ukraine has a self-sufficient gas production. We used to import from Russia before, so we did not import anything. So we basically cover all of our needs, and we actually ready to export as well. Ukraine has an underground storage. The gas storage is the biggest and the largest in Europe right now. So basically, if you, for example, buy the license to get the gas, so you can get the gas when the price is a minimum on the export level, you put this in the storage. Our storage is the cheapest in Europe. So you can put the gas in storage, wait when the price goes up, and then sell it out. So basically, this is like a business model. Besides the gas and oil, we do have one of the largest lithium reserves. For example, I just returned from New York. US wants us to be kind of have a consortium, US and Ukraine, because like the China controls the majority of lithium and it becomes a strategic material. So we have like a large reserves in lithium. So they want to build the factory, so get it out in the mines and then build the factory inside Ukraine. Why? Because even Australia gets the lithium and sends it to China to make a final product. So we want to have a full production in the Ukraine. Obviously, all these big projects give you an opportunity to have a smaller project as a satellite. Like if somebody builds the factory, you can build, I don't know, a great restaurant or a car wash or whatever like that serves the people who are working for this factory. You know it because when I was traveling here, like driving, I saw many, big facilities and smaller facilities nearby. I'm sure they are owned by different people, right? We do have a lot of production things for the industrial production. Why? Traditionally, from Soviet Union times, Ukraine was really big in terms of producing machineries. Now, like Russians attacking Kharkiv, other eastern regions, we have over 300 factories, big factories. I honestly, like when the owners of the factories told me that they're gonna relocate to other parts, to the western part, I did not believe that it's possible. But I can, like if you come to Ukraine, I'll show you like how the huge factory being on the east is already moved completely to the west. And, like it's safe now, like they moved 2,000 people with families, with homes, so they need homes, for example. So I know that the guy who invests in his money into homes for rent, because he found a big factory that moved to Uzhgorod, to the western part, nearby the Slovakian border, and they have 2,000 families. They have a place to live, right? So he builds the houses and rents it, and the company pays for his employees. Basically, it's a good business. The return is about 5 years. He gets his money back. Good investment opportunity. Like you just need to know what's the flow and basically stick to the flow, right? We have a lot of stuff that was before the war were coming from Russia and Belarus. A lot of import. So we have a study, the stats, what was coming from Russia and Belarus. It's all stopped, it, for obvious reasons. So, but the economy is still big, so there's a lot of people consuming stuff. So probably, like for you, it's also like a great opportunity to replace something with that was being imported before. So if it's being produced now in the Ukraine, so you can sell it directly to Ukrainians right now. Other stuff that we have is the stuff about the energy. This year was really bad for us. They hit almost 50% of our generation facilities. So we had to rethink completely about what's going to be our energy sector in the future. Because traditionally before, it was all made in Soviet Union times, the biggest chunk is nuclear. We have nuclear powers, like one of the biggest in Europe. Then we had like heating stations as a balancing and hydro stations to add it up because, nuclear is not balanced facility. So you have to balance it with something that you can, turn off and turn on. The heating stations are almost all destroyed. So now all the coal industry, all the mines and everything is going to be dead. So we had to rethink and rebuild the strategy for our energy grid. Instead of centralized energy grid, now we are coming to decentralized energy grid. What it means for you? It means that instead of building these monstrous, monsters of energy which cost billions of dollars. You can invest, I don't know, like 5 million euros in one heating stations that enough to heat the city. One city, one station. So it gives you opportunity, like smaller investments, same kind of return, so easier to enter the markets, right? The water heating, water cleaning, all this kind of municipality services, the opportunities are really big. Why? Because we also have a pretty decent reform on decentralization. So the municipalities are already self-sufficient and autonomous. They collect taxes by themselves, so they have their own money. The central government cannot influence this, so you can make an agreement with the mayor of small city and run your project without going up to, I don't know, like the presidential part or parliamentary part and all. So I think it's also like gives you a flexibility in this terms. The next one is obviously we have a big pharmaceutical. We have Mikhailo, he's the head of pharmaceutical and medical committee in the parliament, so he knows every player in the medical industry. He can tell you about, we have like quite big sector of local production or pharmaceutical production. We have a lot of R&D centers in the Ukraine which are developing medical stuff for outside of Ukraine as well, and we have like a pretty decent export numbers for the pharmaceutical products. We have rehabilitation, like we have 1 million people fighting on the front. They will come back as veterans. There will be a lot of opportunities, including the paid ones, government and private ones. So people will have to, rehabilitate. This is also like a great opportunity for the investment. We have prosthetics, like unfortunately, like this is going to be like the largest numbers in Europe because of the size of the war. But the prosthetics, we have some of the government efforts. It's not enough. So a lot of players in this industry already opening their R&D centers in the Ukraine to see the opportunities. Why I'm pitching you this now? Because, like a lot of people are coming, yeah, but I'll wait when the war will be over. When war will be over, it will be too late for the investment. Why? I will tell you why. If somebody builds something in his life, he knows that it takes years to actually start from the idea, then to make a project, then planning, then you need to get the permissions, and then you start building. So basically, we expect that the war will be over, within a couple of years. So like if the Ukraine has a really big advantage in terms of bureaucracy. I can give you an example. We bought, as a Ukraine, we bought a land in Slovakia. Why? We wanted to secure the production. It was a military production to build something in Slovakia. When we started, of course, our president called the Slovakian president, the prime minister called the Slovakian prime minister, so everybody was facilitating. But then they say, you have to do environmental study by EU rules. We say, okay, but how long does it take? They say like 1.5 years. We already built the factory in the Ukraine, like in 1 year, while, like in Slovakia, we would have to wait 1.5 years just to get the environmental study. So we cut all the bureaucracy now because of the war. It's also a good opportunity for you to get all the documents really, really fast. Like instead of waiting. I know, like I spoke to a couple of businessmen yesterday here. They all say like it's at least 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. I spoke to the Minister of Defense here. He said like, okay, we chopped and speeded up the bureaucracy, but it's still more than 1 year, like to get all the permissions cleared. So Ukraine is much, much different now in terms of the speed. So if you are looking, if you have something in your mind already, like it's a great timing to make it right now, at least, like to acquire the land where you're going to do it, do the planning, talk to the local partners. I believe that most of the people who are doing the business outside of his country, they are doing it with local partners. So I encourage you to come and, and talk to your local partners. There is another thing that can help you if your project is big enough. We have a special law. that we voted. We call it the law with significant investment. So if your investment is more than 12 million euros, and you create 10 jobs, which is easier, most of the businesses create 10 jobs, we give you back, as a government, 30% of your capital investment. So basically, it's like a cashback mechanism that can work. So you have a direct contract with the cabinet of ministry, and you have like a special concierge service that we call investment nanny, that you can, like, whatever things you are stuck in with, all the difficulties we are solving as a UkraineInvest, as an agency, we are solving on your behalf. We already have, I think, 17 projects right now during the war. So because people are still investing, you know, Ukraine is split now. If you go to the west, Lviv, you know, Chernivtsi, Uzhgorod, the rent price in the west is actually doubled during the war. Why? Because hundreds of thousands of people migrated to the west, because the hundreds of factories migrated to the west. So you need new warehouses, you need new buildings, you need homes. That's why, you know, like the demand goes up, obviously the proposition goes up. So that's why a lot of people are doing, you know, like big business right now in the Ukraine. Obviously, situation in the east is worse, but people are still already knowing that the prices are going down. So a lot of people are just buying and saying, I'll start something after the war is over. Because right now I can buy 2 times cheaper, maybe 3 times cheaper. We also opened 78 industrial parks. It's another law that we voted. You have in Estonia, you have something similar. Also, like there is in Lithuania, it's also like very similar. If you are putting your business in industrial park, you have special tax regime. You basically can import the equipment with no VAT. You can do a free connection to the electrical grid and stuff, which costs a lot of money normally. If you are in industrial park, and we have a lot of industrial park, as you can see it on the map, it's like really, really big, big territories that you can find the local one that you like the most. And obviously, the last question, which is important and people are asking, is about, okay, what if I build during the war, and the missile comes and it destroys the things that I built, so I lose my money? That was a really, really big problem for us. Like, we solved it using international assistance, so we have a war risk insurance. So basically, if you build a factory and it gets destroyed, you get the full money back if you are insured from the war risks. It includes all the risks possible in the country right now. So it also like gives you a security feeling, you know, like when you're coming and you're building something during the war. So that's, people are saying that I have to leave 2.5 minutes for the questions, so I did it. Thank you very much.
So, David, thank you very much. It was really, really interesting. You were talking us as we would be your friends.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So, what is your gut feeling now about the climate and of the investments? Is there a lot of inbound? Are people approaching you?
Honestly, you know, like I'm in this I'm in UkraineInvest for 4 years. So 2 years before the war, 2 years during the war. I can tell you, a number of inquiries during the war is at least 3 times bigger than the before the war. Why? Because a lot of people understand that, you know, the crisis equals opportunities. A lot of people are asking, can I buy something cheaper? Can I build something that you need right now? We have a lot of corridors changed. It was all the sea for the export. Now it's all the trains and the cars to the Europe. So you need warehouses, you need gateways, you need logistical centers, dry ports, a lot of stuff that you can, you know, like you can build and make good money on.
Let's give a big hand to David.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
So we're going to meet with David later at the